Good day, folks. Welcome to another video about some depressing stuff that I want to talk about. Well, this one doesn't have to be depressing. It depends on how it goes. It's been depressing so far. You see, I'm going to be very well. I'm still going to have to be careful how I word things, or this video just get deleted and get a strike on the channel, of course. But I'm going to talk about the Pokey Pokes. Everybody knows what I mean by the Pokey Pokes. So for quite a few years now, I've been aware that, and a lot of you just are going to plain not believe me when I say this, the Pokey Pokes do not have any purpose like you think they do. They've been very careful to avoid having to prove that they work for preventing catching stuff. Okay? They don't. They plain and simple do not. They may have the technology. They may have developed it. They may keep it for themselves. I don't know. But the technology they're pumping into us does not work. Never has. It's never been about that. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to say about it. It's about getting things into your body that do other stuff, that mold your behavior, that shorten your lifespan, that conduct experiments on you. They want to test things on you. They want to know how something really works. They can do their expensive clinical trials, or they can just test it on the population, which is what they do. They're also for population reduction via using fertility agents, infertility agents, I guess we call them. This is what the Pokey Pokes are about. Nothing more than that. Nothing to do with disease. Never been about that. Not 1 second of one day has it ever been about preventing disease. A lot of you will just dismiss that and say, oh no, Jonas Salk saved the world and all this stuff. No. We know for sure that's a bunch of bogus bullshit too. You just have to really dig in and do your research and you'll see what I'm saying is true. They've never proven the efficacy of any of them at all. And now we have a really clear indication that everything I'm saying is true. Because RFK Jr. is talking about, well, here's something I bet y'all didn't know. We think that they always use a placebo in these trials when they test this stuff. No. That's the proper way to do it. That would tell us definitively, if you have a placebo that's you're giving to a bunch of people, it's nothing, it's just saline solution or whatever, it's just fake, there's no pokey poke in it, and then you give the real thing to a bunch of other people, and then you can compare what happens, okay? They won't allow that. I wonder why. Why won't they allow that? They stopped that many, many years ago. They haven't been using placebos at all when they test this stuff. Okay. Now that RFK Jr. has decided that's the way things are going to have to be tested, because he's head of NIH or whatever it is, not NIH, FDA. So, or whatever it is, there's the FDA, there's the CDC, there's the NIH, there's all kinds of them, and they're all in cahoots with each other, and that's what this administration has taken over. All these organizations that, well, they call the CDC the Center for Data Control. Not controlling any disease, it's definitely controlling the data you get to see, though. Center for Data Control, that's what that is. But RFK Jr. has decided placebo testing, that's what we're doing. That's the only way to know. Well, wouldn't you know it, everybody freaks right out. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, RFK Jr. is going to kill people and blah, blah, blah. By demanding we use a placebo to test them properly, they're now claiming that a bunch of people are going to die because of this. Why would that be? Well, what it's going to do is prove that these things are no good, and they're not working. They don't work, and they do severe harm to people. So they're going to get discontinued. They're not going to be allowed to be sold. And this is apparently going to kill everybody, but it's not, because this crap doesn't do anything for them anyway except hurt them. This is the number one problem that humanity has. Until humanity overcomes this, we're at the mercy of the evil ones. We need to go back to placebo testing. Here's another thing they want to do that the evil ones won't allow. They want to just take a whole bunch of pokey-poked people and non-pokey-poked people. People that have never been pokey-poked. Get a large group of them. Compare them to pokey-poked people. In the same demographic, compare them for intelligence, general health, how their vision is, how their hearing is, everything. Do a full assessment on them and compare the two groups. Be the simplest thing in the world to do. Well, not simple, but I mean, it's going to tell you some pretty interesting things. This is how the pokey-poked people made out, and this is how the non-pokey-poked people made out. They will not allow that. That's the one thing people have been screaming for years. Do you think they'll let us? No. They got to stop that at all costs, because it's going to become very obvious as soon as they do it that the pokey-poked people have suffered severe harm in many ways, and the non-pokey-poked people, which the Amish are a very good example of, all the things we have wrong with us, the Amish don't have wrong with them. What's the difference between the two? Well, they live a lot healthier and stuff, but they don't have pokey-pokes. That's the big one. They're trying to force them to now, but for the most part, the Amish have not been pokey-poked. So, placebo testing and this kind of trial that I'm suggesting, which people have been suggesting for years, it's a very simple one to put together. You don't even really have to get the people to do anything, except you have to get their information. That's it. And then you compare. You have to assess these people, right? Very easy for them to do, and it would tell us definitively if the pokey-pokes are helpful or harmful. And again, it's pretty easy to tell what the answer is before you even do it, because the backlash that comes the minute you suggest it. We should do this, we should use placebos, and they go nuts, as if you've threatened to drop a nuclear bomb on them or something. It's unreal. It's like, guys, people have a right to know if this shit is good or not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not. If they lose their ability to poke us like they have been, that's going to ruin their whole thing. That's how they've kept humanity where it is. They've kept its intelligence low. They've kept it divided and violent. They've kept the lifespan quite low. It's actually dropping in many places around the world. It should be, as medical advancements occur, lifespan should lengthen. It's not. It's not in most places. It's shortening. And this is how they keep certain populations from having too many kids, according to what they want, like Africa. All the pokey-pokes in Africa have infertility agents in them. And that's been going on a very, very long time. That's why Billy Boy talks about, well, we do a good job of pokey-poking all the people, or we'll get the population down. That's what he means. It's going to kill some, and it's going to sterilize a whole bunch more. This is what pokey-pokes are about. If you don't believe that, look deeper. Look deeper. The answers are there. I've been on this topic for over a decade now. It's clear that these things have sinister intentions behind them, and they use them, especially now that the technology is getting better. They can mold people the way they want now. There's a famous video, went around for years. The title always said it was Bill Gates, and it wasn't Bill Gates. It was some other, I don't know, big pharma representative. And he's talking about the new Pokey Pokes that they've got available. And he's talking about Pokey Poking against religious fundamentalism. How can something that's supposed to just prevent a disease or something prevent religious fundamentalism? Obviously, it's changing the way you think, your genetics. It's doing a little more than what they're saying, obviously. And he gives this big presentation about it. Oh, yeah, we can vaccinate against religious fundamentalism, and he mentions a bunch of other things, too. That's interesting. And it's in some big university. I mean, it's authentic. They tried to say it was a stage thing. It's not. It's clearly in this university. And this guy is spilling the beans on what they can do with their Pokey Pokes. That's just one of the many things I've seen over the years. I mean, there's so much evidence that they hide. I mean, they hide it the best they can, but so much evidence has come out, and we have enough, when we gather it all together and look at it, if nothing else, if we can at least say it's alarming to a great degree, to a major, major degree. And it's time we do this placebo testing, and if we do, you're going to find out real quick, especially if it's that mRNA crap. Give a bunch of people a placebo and give a bunch of people that. There's going to be a major difference between the two groups. Because that's the other thing is, it's rare side effects. No, not rare at all. I think just about everybody knows someone who has either bit the biscuits or gotten really messed up from a Pokey Poke during the COVID era. I don't know, like, it's not a whole bunch of my personal friends that had this happen, but I know people, somewhat, who are dead and others who are severely injured. And so does everyone else know somebody that's happened to. It's not as rare as you think. That's their bullshit line, is that it's rare, just to keep the public trusting it. Public got to stop trusting it. Stop taking... They take a baby when he or she is first born, Pokey Poke them for hepatitis. You get hepatitis through sexual activity or intravenous drug use. Why do you need to vaccinate a baby for that? You don't. Plain and simple. You don't. But they do. And that particular Pokey Poke, man, oh man, it does all kinds of damage to them. And they don't even need to be giving it to them at all. There's no need to. It's pointless, completely pointless. Unless, when this kid's 6 months old or a year old, they're going to be a heroin addict and start, injecting that into them. And sharing needles with people. Then they might need that. But even then, it doesn't do anything anyway. It doesn't prevent it. So it's horseshit too. They're all horseshit. Tetanus, same thing. You step on a nail or, a rusty nail or something, run for your tetanus shot. Bullshit. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do a damn thing. It might screw you up, but it's not going to help you with lockjaw and all this garbage. It's all lies, folks. Every last bit of it. Lies. Lies and more lies. And then on top of that, lies.